All right, back for more of the Argonaut Weekly here at GoArgos.com. Rob Walden along with assistant baseball coach Shane Gierke. First time we've had Shane here on the Argonaut Weekly. It comes after a bit of a down week for the baseball team. They lost 3 of 5 games this week, got swept in a midweek series at North Georgia, did take 2 out of 3 in their GSC opening series against Valdosta State. Before we talk about the individual games, Coach, obviously you guys were going to face a little adversity this season. You entered the week 13-1, ranked 2nd in the country. But I know, like all teams, you guys expected to hit a rough patch at some point. Is it a good thing for you, for Coach Jeffcoat, for the guys to have hit a rough patch before conference season really got going and to kind of figure out the kinks that you guys need to iron out before you get deep into the season?
Well, I don't think it's ever, you never want to drop any
Sure.
games. I think as a coaching staff, we looked at this series against North Georgia as a potential letdown if we took care of business the way we were supposed to against Delta and Florida Southern. But I think the energy level all week was down, and we sensed that as a coaching staff. And just because it was an emotional 2 weeks for
Sure.
us, especially the team had built those 2 weekends up, and so did we. But also North Georgia's a well-coached team, and they're nationally ranked, and it was as a coaching staff, you look at that and you say, this is a setup for us to not play good.
On the road.
On the road, and we sensed it on Tuesday, and we had a team meeting before the game to say, hey, these games matter. And they tried to bring it on Wednesday, and we just couldn't pull it out. But I think the energy level was better this weekend. But it still wasn't where we think it needs to be, where it was against Delta and Florida Southern.
You did take 2 out of 3 from Valdosta State, though, and lost the middle game in extra innings. So, the level of play was a lot higher for you guys on the weekend. You talked about your pregame meeting on Tuesday to try and get ready for North Georgia. What did you talk about in between the 2 games, in between the 2 North Georgia losses, and then taking 2 out of 3 from Valdosta that caused you guys to kick it into a little bit higher gear and take the series from VSU?
I think before the North Georgia game, between those games going into Wednesday, I think that as a staff we were more upset about the energy level. Not so much about, you, as coaches, you can deal with errors and mistakes physically, but, mental mistakes and not being into it. The bench was a little down,
Sure.
and you need those guys that, were bringing us that energy against Florida Southern and Delta. And, I just thought it wasn't the same. We could sense that, and we tried to nip it in the bud, before the game on Wednesday. And they came out with a little bit more fire, but we still didn't play with the energy we needed to. And I think the guys, the biggest thing between this year's team and years past is the guys sense that going into the Valdosta series, and the energy level wasn't what we would like, but they found a way to muster up some energy to get the job done. Anytime
a team is slumping, a starting pitcher has a great opportunity at any level to be the guy who rights the ship, who turns the momentum back in the favor of your team. And Jason Pasa really did that for you guys in the opener against Valdosta State. We talk about his play a lot. He's been terrific all season long on the mound, but he really got you guys going in that opener, only allowed 1 run over 7 innings.
He's been unbelievable.
Yeah.
And anytime a senior, can go out and just give us quality starts, it's going to keep us in every ball game. And I think that the guys sense that offensively. When you got a guy out there that's, throwing up zeros every inning, it's bringing the momentum back in our dugout offensively. And we've really given him a lot of run support this year. Unlike last year, where I think his record, was 3-5 or 3-4 with a low ERA, but we just didn't give him any run support.
Sunday's game, a 14-10 victory. We mentioned Postel pitching well on Saturday, and it was Kevin Peters in relief who did the job for you guys on Sunday. Came in, pitched 5 innings, gave up 2 unearned runs, and I know his performance was the spark for you guys, in addition to obviously terrific hitting.
Yeah, I think we swung the bats pretty good all weekend, considering that middle game was a little bit of a letdown offensively. But to score 15 runs against Valdosta in the first game and then score 14 in the third game, and Peters has been lights out all year too, just like Postel. I think he's given up 1 earned run and in four appearances. The lift of getting a freshman off the bench to come in and do that is outstanding for us in the future as far as going down the road and further in the season. But offensively, we brought the sticks, I think this weekend pretty consistently.
You guys don't have a whole lot of position battles at this point in the season. Teams that are having the success that you guys are having typically don't have a lot of battles, a month and a half into the season. One of the real positions that is still up for grabs for you guys is that designated hitter spot. Zach Taylor, Eric Kroll, both getting a lot of playing time, sometimes pinch hitting for each other. Talk about, what you're looking for out of those two guys, which one, what one of those guys will have to do to eventually win that job on a full-time basis, and then also some other lineup shifts that you guys have made, not necessarily switching new guys in, but moving guys up and down the order.
Well, it's tough as a staff to, you got two seniors that are battling out for the starting job with Eric and Zach, but it's a situation where Eric's been here for 4 years. He's battled his butt off to get to where he's at. With Zach, he started off slow, starting to pick it up now a little bit. I think with some other guys in our lineup that started off slow, but Eric right now has won the job, and whether he can keep that is remain to be seen, because he's got a pretty good player behind him in Zach Taylor that's pushing him for the job, which is, as a staff, it's a healthy battle. Sure. If you don't have competition, you don't have guys pushing each other for starting jobs, you don't have a very competitive team.
Right.
We got some good bench players with Corey Dominic and Zach Taylor and Kroll, guys that are battling to get in the starting lineup and want to be in the starting lineup. So I think that's healthy competition. Of course, it also could lead to negative things, but I think that both Eric and Zach have handled it like professionals.
I'll give you guys credit. You guys have built an incredibly tough schedule, and it continues this week against Arkansas Tech. Another very good GSE West club comes to Pensacola. Maybe the last time they play here, definitely the last time they play here as GSC members. What do you do to keep rolling and hopefully take a series from Arkansas Tech this weekend? I
think that, hopefully this week's behind us mentally. Hopefully they've learned from what happened this week, and we got some mature, seniors that, that know what it takes to win in this conference. And we're going to play Arkansas Tech, I think, next year again, too.
Gotcha.
I think they're going to come back here to Pensacola, but I think they're ready. I think this week off is going to do us some good, middle of the week, and kind of gather, some momentum going into Saturday and Sunday with some good practice days, which we need. Obviously defensively we need to get better. Compared to what happened this past weekend, and during the week we just didn't play very good defense, and that's been kind of the staple of our program over the last 10 years is we're going to pitch and play defense, and that the offense is something we've been building the last 3 or 4 years, and it's starting to be a mainstay, but you got to play defense, you got to pitch, and that's been the staple of UWF over the last 10 years.
Hopefully it'll be the staple again this weekend. Baseball plays Arkansas Tech in a 3-game series. It starts Saturday with a doubleheader, then Sunday the final game at 1 p.m. Central Time. You can listen live to all 3 games right here at GoArgos.com. Also, archived video of Sunday's game will be available next Monday beginning at 3 p.m. You can watch the entire game right here at GoArgos.com.